Yeah. Yeah, this is a beauty. Oh, hey! How you doing, fellas? It's your boy Meta, coming to you from the Metaverse, wrestling representing SPW, Singapore Pro Wrestling, and you're watching Wrestle Geeks.
Welcome everybody, the following recap is scheduled weekly. Introducing first, we have from Pennsylvania State, he has faced off with Sami Callihan. He is Shady Jeff.
What up?
Also making his way from California, we have 30 years of wrestling experience in Bill Gilbert.
Hello.
Well as our host from New Brunswick, Canada. He knows a little bit about a lot, and a lot about a little. The Geek Trevor Firth. So what's up, guys? How was your week?
Pretty good.
Not bad.
So we're changing up things on the channel now, obviously. We have multiple teams for multiple different shows. So every Wednesday morning, you're going to have me, Bill, and Jeff recapping NXT and AEW weekly. Maybe one day it'll become separate shows. We'll see. Depends how things go and how the channel grows. As well as, I just want to shout it out, this Friday morning, we should have a New Japan Strong recap going up as well. So, we talked a little bit before the recording, and we decided we were going to go with NXT first this week. Because both of you kind of agreed that NXT was a little better this week, and a little too much filler in AEW, right?
It's a fair assessment.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so recapping NXT February 17th. NXT, we have the opening promo, Kyle O'Reilly, addressing right away the Independence Day. He's. I love the line of how he says that he's willing to listen to Cole because he respects him for everything they've done, but he's probably going to punch him.
Yeah, I like that line too a lot. I was laughing when he said that.
That was a good one. We get Cole Strong that comes out, tries to defend Cole, kinda. Then Balor comes out, and Strong is like, hey, Kyle O'Reilly had nothing to do with that. And then we get Dunn and his boys coming out and just beating up everybody to set up the main event for tonight. But overall, Bill, how do you feel about the whole promo segment, how they're advancing the storyline?
I think this was a perfect example of why they have not given Roderick Strong a microphone. Roddy was probably the weakest of everyone on the mic. I enjoyed the fire out of Kyle O'Reilly. He was just as pissed off as he should have been after what happened. I also enjoy the way that they kind of took the piss out of the usual WWE trope of say someone's name and they come out. Everyone but Adam Cole showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was rather fun for me.
Anything to add, Jeff? Or any?
Yeah, the one thing I like about NXT is they have psychology down to a science and all, which I enjoy a hell of a lot. The opening segment for me, honestly, Strong's not really known for being on the mic. He's more so known for his wrestling.
Absolutely.
And, there's a bunch of guys who were on the roster that were, incredible in the ring. Like, for instance, Malenko, incredible in the ring. Not so strong on the mic, though. Not so strong on the mic at all. But he, again, there's those guys who are strong on the mic and in the ring, and there's those who are strong on the mic, not in the ring, and strong in the ring and not on the mic, vice versa and all. So that's my whole opinion on it. But again, the opening segment was incredible. Kyle O'Reilly coming out. They needed to start the show off strong, and they did.
Yeah, I agree. Needed to be addressed. Next, we get William Regal making that main event, but we also get him announcing that Santos Escobar will not be he's not there. So I just wrote in my notes, literally just Santos ran away. It's all I wrote in my notes for this moment. Man, what is that? I'm not a fan of the fact that that happened, but it fits Santos' character, though, at least. But, oh well. I assume you guys kind of both feel the same way. I was looking forward to that match. Like, I wanted to see that match when I tuned in to NXT.
Honestly, I'm a little confused. I don't know if Cross is a heel or a face now, or if he's just in there to beat the hell out of everyone and everyone and just doing whatever the hell he wants. I don't know which direction they're going with the character now, so I'm a little confused.
I think he's that Greg that definitely can do whatever, whenever he wants.
Gotcha.
Every brand kind of has like that one guy that fits that category, and right now it's NXT. For me, anyway.
Oh yeah, it used to be Damian Priest. He was kind of walking that line, just that world beater star that just comes in and just wrecks people. But yeah, this really was kind of the one bad faith moment for NXT this week for me, because that bait and switch, get people to tune in to see this match that's been hyped for like 3 weeks now, and then just pull the rug out from under it. I don't know if there was some sort of problem or what happened, but yeah, just it kind of left a bad taste in the mouth a little bit.
So next we get the first actual match of the night, which is Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Man. So like we got Gargano coming out with some person flyers for Austin Theory. We have the white van showing up during the match, and Gargano running out to go see what's up. And then at the end, Gargano shows up with Austin still with a bag on his head. I just want to say that's weird. That's also very cruel to do to your friend. Keep the bag on his head, and this causes a distraction. Candice LeRae just ditches the ring. She's so excited and happy, she just runs to the entrance ramp, and then Indy gets rolled up and pins. But they don't care that they lost the match because, Austin Theory's fine. I'm going to say my little piece, and then I'll shoot to you guys, but I feel like this had some good action in it, but the story around the match was so busy, and there was so much going on commentary that it just completely overshadowed the whole match. I don't know, Jeff, do you agree with that one?
I agree with you 100% because you're more focused on what the hell is going on with Austin Theory than you are, what's going on with the match. And the women have, a hard enough time for people to be, invested in their match to begin with, especially in NXT because, Rhea Ripley's not there anymore. They were, Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler. Those were the women that, NXT fans would tune into to see. And now that they're not there anymore, it's, you got the other women there that are trying to pick up the slack. And when you have a storyline going on like that, it kind of diminishes them big time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Bill?
Yeah, I agree to an extent. I think that it was better for it to happen during this match, considering we've already seen Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. If it was a fresh matchup or something like that, and they did all of this, it would take away from the match a little bit more. But I think considering this is one of those repeat matches that just kind of felt like a throwaway to begin with, I don't mind the story overpowering the match.
Okay.
Plus it gives Shotzi and Ember another big win under their belt, and I love those two as a tag team.
I will say NXT is the only place where women and losses actually matter. So, yeah, I agree with that.
I also want to say the fact that Austin Theory came out wearing different clothing than he was kidnapped in kind of gives a weird little illusion to what Dexter Lumis does. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, what if Austin Theory just gets Stockholm syndrome at some point, and he turns on the way just to help Dexter Lumis?
I was kind of hoping that was going to happen with Roderick Strong when he got kidnapped, but yeah, that would be interesting. Just I loved the visual of Gargano pulling the bag off of Theory's head though, and him just standing there smiling, waving in his zip ties. It was so.
That was fun. Next, we get a Pat McAfee promo. Which, yes, Pat McAfee, thank you. I'm happy to see you on my NXT screen again. That's even if it's just for a short little promo, and it was great. It was just him, just straight up telling everybody, "Hey, guess what? I told you all. None of you believed me, and I was right." Yep, perfect.
Yeah, in my opinion, Pat McAfee still got it, honestly. I mean, when he first opened up his mouth in NXT and all, I was just like, damn, this guy's, this guy understands and all, and he's got it,
I agree. There are few celebrities who really get it when they come into
Yeah,
wrestling.
like, no, that's not a knock on Bad Bunny. Him and Damian Priest are doing the best they can on Raw, which I'm sure we'll discuss, another time and all. But Pat McAfee, that guy, if he was to sign a contract, with them and be like a full-time wrestler in NXT and then make his way up to the main roster and all, he would be, God, he would either be Universal Champion or a WWE Champion in a heartbeat because of his mic skills, and he can perform in the ring too.
Oh yeah, he's probably one of the best talkers in pro wrestling, not just WWE, not just NXT. He's one of the best talkers in the business right now. He's got that old school '80s talk him into the building mentality. It works very well.
Yeah.
He's a student of the game. He watches. He's absolutely a lifelong fan of wrestling, and that's dope. Same thing for Bad Bunny. Since we brought him up, might as well just go over it quickly. I know some people really hate the Bad Bunny thing, but like, man, Raw in viewership is up. And like the amount of pride that you insane because of Bad Bunny right now. So this is Mr. T all over again. This is having Mr. T involved WrestleMania. The same thing.
Right, and I mean, bringing the championship onto SNL, getting more eyes onto the product just in general, and I will admit, like, if you look back through the history of them bringing in celebrities, Bad Bunny is probably one of the ones that gets it the best out of all of the celebrities of the last 25 years. He understands the work aspect. He understands that he wants to be there every week, and it's paying off pretty well.
Yeah, I was impressed with his dive. I was like really impressed with the dive. That's what that's what got me hooked. I'm just like, damn, if he can do a dive like that, and he's willing to learn and all, the sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely, like, he's never going to become like even a part-time wrestler, most likely.
Right.
But he absolutely understands the industry, and he is a diehard fan of not just wrestling. He's a diehard WWE fan. And
right. Absolutely. And I kind of understand that whole mindset and all, because we talked about earlier the introduction, me facing Sammy and all. Well, leading up to that, he would always wear an SRG hat and promote the game and all. And that's why our community has grown so much.
Absolutely.
So all it takes is just one person to whether it's a hat, a T-shirt, a belt, whatever it is, the second somebody sees it and they're interested, they're going to look it up.
Yeah. So, Bill, Sami Callihan was the actual world champion for a pro wrestling card game that me and Jeff met. This is how we met, was through this card game. Sami Callihan was the actual world champion. He would wear the hat and everything. And I don't remember who from the community it was, but they went to an Impact taping and they were wearing an SRG shirt. And when Sammy was doing his intro, Sammy was doing his entrance, saw it, got up on the ring apron, pointed at them, and started screaming, "I'm your champion." That's just yes. He did a promo.
I believe that was Colin. I think that was Colin's. Yeah, Colin and his wife Sierra. I'm pretty sure that was them.
He did a promo with Tony Gunn in during an actual tournament for the game too. Tony Gunn came in looking for Sami Callihan.
Yeah, that was the same event that I was at too. I was there.
Right.
I made an appearance there, like a surprise appearance. And a little side note, I actually got to play Sammy using my ZSJ deck instead of Ariel Lipstick because I was next in line to face him, and I didn't want to use Ariel against him.
Not
So.
want to save your best deck for the actual tournament.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
We have Bronson Reed and Kushida backstage. Bronson Reed saying, like, I want to go for the North American title, but I know I'm going to have to make my way through you first. Which is cool, just teasing that match in the future, which will be a good match, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But then we have Malcolm Bivens, who's just like, oh, you're cleared to fight? I'm going to put you in a match tonight. And we got a match between Tyler Rust and Kushida a little later in the night. The backstage segment was fine. There's nothing really spectacular. It's just a setup, right?
No, it was a good standard match.
Match number 8. We have. We'll do the match after, but unless you guys want to go into it, I don't really care. I can jump to it. Tyler Rust versus Kushida. Yeah, it was a simple little match. The only thing I really have to say about it is that I like how Malcolm Bivens, the one who gave up for Rust, because Rust still hasn't actually verbally or visually tapped him.
Yeah, I like that a lot too, and how he said, you live to fight another day and all. I really like that. Honestly, it's. You don't see that anymore this day and age, especially with the heel manager.
It was a hit and miss when Taz did it for Brian Cage. That seems to make more sense, but still.
I'm not really getting this whole like Malcolm Bivens, Tyler Rust thing. Really, I mean, I understand he hasn't he hasn't given up, but. Yeah. He needs to start picking up wins to justify his pairing with Malcolm Bivens. Otherwise, it's this just leading him into where he was initially. Like there's no upgrade whatsoever, other than having Malcolm Bivens, who again, great talker, great on the mic, something that Tyler Rust hasn't shown, but there's been no upside yet. And that's kind of what I'm waiting.
That makes sense. I kind of agree. My match of the night, this next match, was Leon Ruff versus ITOH. That was the match of the night for me, because this whole match was story. This was all storyline, all in-ring psychology. It was great.
Yeah, that was easily match of the night, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Losing his shit more and more and more as the match would go on. The look on his face after he lost.
Yeah.
Oh. And it was a roll-up win. With a crucifix, but it was a roll-up win. But it was a damn good one. I don't like this roll-up wins most of the time. But I will say that when you reverse something, what was it? Like he was going for a powerbomb of some kind or something like that. He reversed it into the crucifix and got the win from it. It was great. The beatdown afterwards was awesome. I loved it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going for a money drawer, or promoting for their next event or whatever the case may be, having Strickland versus Ruff is the best way to go, honestly, because they're going to give you 100% every single time they're in a match together.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And you got to think of it too this way, both of them are probably thinking, you know what, our backs are against the wall right now. I was the North American champion, and it was done because they wanted more of a comedic run and all. I could be going anytime, you could be going at any time, so if we're going out swinging kind of like thing. So those are the guys that I like to see in the ring, honestly, where they just, they're just like, the hell with it, whatever happens, happens. We're going to do the best we can and see what happens. And I'm sorry,
everything
I was going to finish off by...
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was going to finish off by saying, you never know, too, to keep the storyline going and all. They could be a tag team down the line and, dominate the tag division.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's two guys with everything to prove and nothing to lose. And it's come to, like, with Leon Ruff, to me, I love that he's still getting wins. But at some point, he needs to start getting more decisive wins. Otherwise, anytime he's up against someone like Isaiah Swerve Scott and stuff like that, I'm automatically programmed that he's going, which in this case worked out well. But to start taking him as a serious contender, he's got to start firing up a little bit more and getting more aggressive and not be seen as that lucky fluke guy, because that's only going to last so long.
What I'd like to see is Swerve be like, I'm done with it. I don't care. And start using this new attitude to start winning some matches, to start really like cementing this new character. And at the same time, you have Leon Ruff kind of like becoming a little bit more serious. Not too much, but just enough to become more credible, like you were saying. Get a couple more wins under his belt as well, make him look a little less like flukes. And then you have Leon Ruff do a promo being like, "Hey Scott, we got unfinished business." Right? Like, let them build up independently from each other for a little while first.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Match 3, we got Peyton Carter and Casey Catanzaro versus Jessi Kamea and Aaliyah. It's a fine little match. I will say that the finisher, that crossbody neckbreaker combo, was really nice. Enjoyed that. But the talking point is what happens after, right? So Xia Li comes out after the match. Well, her I don't remember his name, sorry, but her ballet came out during it. And I like that Peyton and Casey didn't get distracted by that, and they won anyway. But yeah, Xia Li marks Casey's hand, and they're going to be going at it tonight, on tonight's episode. So how do you guys feel about it?
I enjoyed the match. It was a nice little simple match. You knew who was going to win, but it wasn't about the match. It was definitely, as soon as Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter come out, they had already shown the interview where they brought up Xia Li. You knew that that's what the focus was going to be, and I'm actually really excited to see what happens in that storyline progressing forward. That's become probably one of my favorite storylines on NXT after the whole like Xia Li and Boa training thing and all of that, where it got really weird for a little bit. I'm actually really invested in everything that's going on with those two at the moment, and to see where this goes is going to be very intriguing.
Yeah, I will say my favorite Marvel character is Iron Fist. I mean, from way before that terrible Netflix series. But I love the Chinese mystical cultural aspect of it all. Like, it's really fun. That's right up my alley. So yeah, I'm loving it. The Dusty Cup winners come out. So we have MSK coming out like two boys on Christmas morning, two little kids on Christmas morning. I love it. Okay, guys, we gotta take a moment here, just 1 second. Woo! Running around in circles. I'm like, yeah, this is great. That was great. That was so fun. Just like they're like, can I hug you? Can I hug you to Beth? Like the way they were, everything. They were so excited and giddy. I loved it. The promo was good. It was fine. They're going up against Grizzly Young. No, sorry, not Grizzly Young. Beth, Lorcan and
Birch.
Yeah. Yes.
They're going up against them soon. But the whole point of this for me is when Dakota Kai and Gonzalez, they start talking, and we quickly get, of course, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And when Shayna Baszler walks down, first of all, playing Shayna's music, super smart.
Yes.
Definitely.
Because, oh my god, the reactions Shayna got from the people in the crowd. They were chanting for Shayna at this point. They didn't know anything about Renee or Dakota, about Gonzalez or Dakota being in the ring. Like, nobody cared.
Right.
It was cool. The promo back and forth was great too. Dakota Kai bringing up how, like Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler. Baszler ran away, and Gonzalez just beat Ripley in the last woman standing match. And it's like, yeah. Nia Jax saying that Dusty Rhodes said all sorts of great things about her and all these things. Yeah, convenient. The guy can't test it. And Gonzalez obviously like, yeah, but he never met me. And that was just the perfect line. Perfect line to shut her up. Overall, this was just a perfect segment for me. I enjoyed all of it. I think Nia and Baszler actually feel more important right at the moment they walked into NXT. They felt more important. Those tag belts felt more important than they have in at least a month.
Well, you got to remember too. They're both from NXT. That's where they got their start, and also to show back up there as women tag team champions and all, it had to feel good for them. Honestly, it had to feel good for them. And I'm actually a huge fan of Shayna Baszler. I always have been since the first time I've seen her, and doing all her submission and destroying the arms and fingers and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll never have a bad thing to say about her. Jax, I could care less if she's in the ring or not, honestly. I don't like I really don't like when people hurt other people, whether it's by accident or you feel some type of way and all. There's no need for, to hurt anybody in the ring.
To me, what comes to that is that I feel like she should be taken off TV and, put back into training. Because obviously there's something fundamental at this point. It has to be something fundamental to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this segment. I think one of the best things to come out of this segment is the GIF that's been circulating online of MSK and Beth Phoenix eating popcorn, watching Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler talking with Raquel and Dakota.
Yep.
I would say I'm looking more forward to Raquel and Dakota versus Nia and Shayna than I am MSK versus Oni and Danny. Yes. Strictly because there's going to be that, there's going to be like a strong woman moment between Nia and Raquel, and that is going to set her up as like the badass of NXT. There's going to be a moment where she just lifts Nia like over her head or dumps her over the ropes or something. To show off
gonna body slam her. For an absolute fact, she's gonna body slam her.
That'd be great.
Just to show off how powerful Raquel. That's the match I'm looking forward to the most. Like everything's hyping up for March 3rd through NXT and AEW right now, and over both shows, I would say that's the match I'm looking most forward to for that night.
So. I have a little spoiler not a spoiler, but I have a little prediction for it, especially if it goes on last. Expect the superplex spot where the ring collapses. It'll be the first time women ever do it, in my opinion.
That is a good possibility.
That's a good moment to do it. You're right. Yeah. After this, we get Cameron Grimes crashing his car.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's just like, oh, well, buy another one. Walking away.
So that song's got to be his new entrance music, right? Because that song is just too catchy. It's so perfect for the character. If they don't use that as his new entrance music, it is a total waste.
Absolutely. It's so good. Honestly, I almost found myself just like I was whistling a song the other day, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's the Cameron Grimes song!" It's stuck in my head. We get Io Shirai being attacked by Toni Storm during the photo shoot, and this was a funny visual. It just looked weird. But they just kept the photographers like, "Yes, keep kicking your ass, keep taking the picture."
Yes, yeah, I got that from it too. However, I also liked the storyline. I liked how the story continued, especially because Storm was never pinned. And there's a story there because, Toni Storm during that Mae Young tournament.
Okay, yeah.
And, how she was so dominant there and all. And, Io was the one person that she couldn't, Toni Storm beat her with no problem. She was the one woman that always gave EO problem was Tony Storm. So to have that story continue after a triple threat match, like, hey, you won the match, but you didn't beat me, you know, going right into it for a one-on-one. Really cool way to keep the story going. If they're smart, I'd give Tony the belt, honestly.
This actually, I don't know if you know, but they have history all the way back in Stardom.
Mm-hmm.
These two have been feuding with each other and going back and forth with each other for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a reason why this storyline is so great.
Yep. Oh yeah, she used to feud with everyone. I mean, she feuded with Kairi Sane and EO, and you know,
Yeah. The biggest gaijins in Stardom for a very long time. Very
right,
popular.
right. It was basically Tony Storm and Shayna Baszler that were just coming through there, just wrecking everyone.
Yeah, and when they left, it was Piper Niven.
Mm-hmm.
Piper Niven just started wrecking Viper. I think she just goes by Piper Niven now, right? Or she's on NXT UK, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't watch NXT UK anymore. I kind of should just because of her. Next we get LA Knight. The little LA Knight. Like, look, I love Eli Drake. I hate the name LA Knight, but I love Eli Drake to death. This man, I can never spell it off. I can't say enough good about his promo work and about his in-ring work, so I'll just let you guys go. Like, how did you guys feel about this? About him?
I think it was the perfect like introductory promo for his character. I mean, it's setting him up. His goal is to come in. His goal is to be the top guy, and in his mind, he already is. So I mean, it doesn't make a difference where he's going, what company he's in. He always wants to be the top guy. He's always going to be one of the best talkers. So I think this worked out really well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, I just want to see more. You know, I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. You know, I just want to see more.
Yeah, Impact, like, I've seen a lot of them from Impact, so, like, I have an idea. I can't wait. We already, next we got a squash match. Zoe Starks and her singles debut versus Valentina Ferris, I believe. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was a standard little squash match. There was a little bit of offense in from Valentina, but mostly this was just Zoe Starks getting to go out and just crush everybody. I will say that this is a pretty showing for her because when I think of Zoe Starks, last time I saw her, she was in Impact, and she was fighting Kira Hogan because she was supposed to be Madison Rayne's new version of Kira Hogan. And when she came out, she looked like she had been crying in the back for at least half an hour. Her eyes were so red and puffy. Like she's been bawling for like half an hour before the match, and I don't know if there's a story there or whatever, but I'm happy I get to replace that memory with something else at this point. Because she's good. It's just, it was a really awkward feeling debut back in Impact. But this was great for her in NXT.
Yeah, this was a good little squash match. She's got a great look. She can definitely work in the ring. I look forward to seeing more from her. I mean, that's about all I can say about it.
Yep.
Absolutely. I have nothing to add there. He hit it right on the head.
Yeah. We get Karrion Kross. His response to Santos. Nothing really spectacular here either. Just saying, like, you know, that belt's gonna be mine eventually, and that's all that really matters.
Right.
Cruiserweight match, right? That they're feuding for?
Well, he's the cruiserweight champion, but he's not allowed to, you know, fight for the cruiserweight title because it doesn't meet the weight limit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. Because, like, Karrion Kross is talking like if he's going for the belt. I'm like, but you're not under 205 pounds. Like, I don't.
Yeah, no, it's a non-title match. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused too, on the whole thing. Like,
Right.
Escobar's the top heel right now. He's the champion. He has the three guys. Cross has Scarlet and all. Like, I don't understand, what they're doing with the character now. Like, I really don't.
No. I don't get the point.
Yeah, I don't understand either, for the simple fact of you're either going to beat your world beater in Karrion Kross, or you're going to completely devalue the Cruiserweight Championship by having your champion lose. So this entire feud makes no sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So, main event though, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan. So, the big thing from this is that, Kyle O'Reilly doesn't want to tag Roderick Strong. Eventually, there's a ref bump. Adam Cole shows up the moment after the ref bump.
Yeah.
Picks up Balor. He brutalizes O'Reilly.
Yep.
He did a suplex right onto the steps, I believe, right?
No, that was a brainbuster on the steps.
It was a brainbuster.
Which is even worse. Because the second he hit, then I'm just like, Jesus, I hope he's alright.
Yeah.
I know they know how to, protect themselves and all, but still, you're talking about a brainbuster on some steel steps. That's not the easiest move to protect somebody with. And
of course, Dunn and his team get the win when because of all the distractions and whatnot, pinning Finn Balor.
Right.
I think it was Balor that got pinned, actually.
Yeah.
And then the whole fighting afterwards, and more Adam Cole kicking people, and holding the belt.
Right. Balor kind of clears, the ring gets cleared. Balor's left standing tall, and out of nowhere, Cole comes back and just super kicks him, lays him out, and you've got the image of Adam Cole standing in the ring with the NXT Championship, Finn Balor at his feet, and Kyle O'Reilly in a lump on the ground outside. Like that's how this should have gone, really.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one.
Can't ask much better. But I'm interested to see where most of these feuds are going. I'll be honest, I think the thing I want to see the most is the actual whole Dexter Lumis thing with Gargano. I want to see that. That's my personal favorite out of the storylines right now. Kind of want them to do the whole Stockholm Syndrome thing. I think it would just be funny.
Okay.
But yeah, favorite storylines right now. I half of you guys. You two must be Adam Cole, Finn Balor, the whole NXT main title thing. It's hard to not just get obsessed with it right away.
Right. We've seen them face off in a triple threat. But I don't think we've ever seen them, in a one-on-one. In NXT, Finn and Adam Cole, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we have. Have we?
Yeah, when Finn first came back to NXT.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did have that match with Adam Cole. Yeah.
That Cole won.
Gotcha. So this will actually be, a face Finn against a heel Adam Cole, to where I think when he first came back, he was a heel Finn, and Adam Cole was a heel. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I don't like Adam Cole.
That was actually the match that started the weird babyface turn for Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like him as a babyface. It's so weird. Feels unnatural.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Undisputed Era being faces either. I've always known them as heels. They're incredible heels, and not so much good faces.
Yeah. So that was everything for NXT. We'll see where everything goes when it comes to that. But let's move over to AEW for the week. So the first thing I'm going to open with, is, I don't know if either of you guys have seen it, but have you watched the Japanese first round for the women's elimination?
I did not.
No.
Okay, I did. Mostly because I've been deep diving on Tokyo Joshi Pro recently, so it really got my attention. But I'm just going to go through those 4 matches at a decent little pace here then. So we get Yuka Sakazaki versus Mai SÜRUGA. Mai SÜRUGA is known as the girl with the biggest smile in pro wrestling, and since Kylie Ray is no longer wrestling, I can actually probably say she does have the biggest smile in pro wrestling. And this was probably the weakest of the 4 matches on the show, so it's kind of good that it opened with it. But Yuka Sakazaki, the magical genie girl, right? Like, she's already been in AEW. She already has a few wins. Yuka is one of the top stars in Tokyo Joshi Pro. She's held their main title, I think, twice. She was a much higher level than SAKURA. Sorry, Japanese names. But it does end when Yuka ends up hitting a beautiful Northern Lights bomb. Beautiful Northern Lights, and then follows up with the magical girl splash. The second match is Benny versus Emi Sakura, which we've seen Emi Sakura as well multiple times. Benny, this was her first match. Her big thing is that she's the first transgender wrestler from Japan, which, unlike Nyla Rose, they went out of their way to actually bring that up right away. So that tells me that that's something that, like, that was Nyla not wanting them to advertise it, like, not caring, right?
Right.
Benny, being in Japan, not the same. That having that representation out there means a lot, I think. But she was extremely impressive. She had some crazy nice high-flying moves. You know when somebody's sitting on the turnbuckle and then somebody runs up to them, leaps on, does a springboard from sitting, and then does like a Spanish fly, essentially?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. She didn't do that. But she did the first half, and she turned it into this really cool, like, snapmare. And I'm like, give her another year or two, and that's going to be a picture-perfect Spanish fly. Nakamura, the Japanese wrestler that took her life last year. My God, 2020 was a long year. Benny was actually her tag team partner, and Benny actually wears her kimono when she comes in. That she was given by Nakamura's mom. So that's just beautiful to see. Like, they were tag team partners, and it's beautiful to see Benny just carry on the memory.
Right.
Emi Sakura does end up winning by almost choking out Benny with a Dragon Sleeper, which allows Emi to hit the Tiger Driver. Match 3 is the match that probably everybody wanted to see, and probably the match that pissed everybody off. So we have the cutest in the world, MAKI ITOH, versus RIHO MIZUNAMI. RIHO MIZUNAMI looks like Okada. She dresses like Okada. She has a similar flair, but more of a big boss, like, bring it. Like, I don't know what it is with this girl. Like, her music is great, too. Like, it's worth watching the match just for her entrance music, because she's got this, like, 80s dance, like, mafia boss thing going on for her music. She's got the sunglasses on, and I love it. But this was the match of the night for me, between these four, because, well, MAKI ITOH does the headbutt, okay? And she does a diving headbutt, which I don't like, but she has found a really interesting way of cushioning it. Like, you actually see her using her hands to cushion the diving headbutt. At least. I still will not like that move ever. But she does this thing where basically everybody sells that she has the hardest head in pro wrestling. So like other people headbutt her and they go down instantly. She's still standing. It's adorable. I love it. Akiko is really fun. But she tapped out after being put in a head and arm choke by MIZUNAMI. And by this point, I figured out, like, okay, so all of the debuting women are not women. If Maki Ito didn't advance from the first round, then obviously the fourth person is not advancing in the first round either, like, because the fourth person was fighting Aja Kong.
Right.
Versus Ring KADOKURA. KADOKURA. Rin is impressive. She's Kong, destroys this girl overall. She no sells when she shouldn't be selling because it's Aja Kong.
Right.
You know, like it was an overall good match. Rin did not give up. She'd keep getting back up instantly. Like Aja didn't have to pick her up off the ground ever. She was always already getting up. Great underdog move. Love it. The ref was useless. That's my only thing. The ref in this whole show, he ruined those 4 matches almost because the ref was terrible. But now we're going to go into actual Dynamite. So match 1, Matt Hardy, Hangman Page versus TH2. Pretty quick, easy win, if you ask me, for Hangman and Hardy. Hardy was getting his ass kicked for the most part, but Hangman just rules a tag team wrestling, apparently. It doesn't matter who he's with, he's always going to win. But the big thing from afterwards is when Hangman tells Hardy to check out the contract. And then, of course, we reveal that Hardy's going to be facing against Hangman. Hardy and Hangman are going to be going at it Revolution, and for fourth quarter winnings, for the first quarter of Matt Hardy's earnings. Dark Order come out to make the save after like the mascot's revealed to be Isaiah Cassidy.
That was my favorite part in the show, honestly.
Dark Order
Yes.
is always my favorite part of the show at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good little match, and it was just to reveal to us what was in the contract, and I'm happy. Cool, money match, let's do it.
Yeah, it was inoffensive. It was a means to an end with the storyline. It just worked out well.
Yep. We get a promo from Inner Circle. It's supposed to be Proud and Powerful, telling us how they're finally getting their opportunity, they're going to win, and all this stuff. Everybody, Jeff had to go for personal reasons. Bill and I are going to finish up with the rest of AEW. So we were talking about the Inner Circle promo with Proud and Powerful talking themselves up, saying exactly what everybody's been saying. But the big thing from this for me is MJF interrupts and just talks about himself and Sammy, and then Jericho is the dad who is just like, "Shut up! It's your fault Sammy's gone. I'm still angry at you too, Sammy, but I'm more angry at you." You know, like I got 2 boys. I know exactly how that goes.
Yeah, the thing I enjoyed about the promo was kind of the common sense line from MJF about, there's a camera 5 feet away from me. I'm not going to try to secretly record our conversation. Like, yeah. just laying that out, like giving again, taking the piss out of a trope that's commonly used in professional wrestling, like acting like the camera's not there. So I really enjoyed that line.
Same. Match number 2 of the night is RIHO versus Serena Deebs. This is a first round contenders, first round match for the women's elimination tournament, like the 4 Japanese matches. Man, this was wow. I can't even, like, it's Thunder Rosa and Leela Hirsch, like, but a little better somehow. If this tournament keeps going like this, man, like, this is incredible quality wrestling. Even on the Japanese end, this is incredible quality stuff.
I agree. It was a very, very entertaining match. The only criticism I have of it was I don't know if Riho was dealing with some sort of jet lag or something coming over from Japan, but she seemed a little sluggish to me. She didn't have the energy in her entrance like she usually does.
Yeah.
She seemed a little bit out of it, but even with that, they still put on one hell of a match. Great technical wrestling between the two of them. But I mean, that's what you get when you have two people who've literally been doing this for over a decade. Like,
Yeah.
they just have a very, very solid understanding of how to get things done in the ring.
Absolutely. The storytelling was spot on with like Deeves' knee getting injured, and then so she's like starts focusing on Riho's knee to make up for it. Like, oh well, if I'm going to be grounded, you're going to be grounded. Perfect. And Serena Deeves stretch muffler. I just gotta say, there's not enough women that do that. That move is so sexy. We get a Jade Cargill promo with Shaq watching her be a dominant athlete, I guess. Which is, yeah, whatever, okay. If people still don't understand why AEW is pushing this woman, then I just have to say, open your eyes and look at her physique and imagine what she can do in the ring.
That's the problem I have is imagine what she can do in the ring. I would much rather they show us before March 3rd.
Yeah.
I want to see her have at least one match to show off how dominant she is, because she is physically imposing, especially if you pair her up against Red Velvet, who's going to be on Cody's team. Yeah. But being physically imposing doesn't always mean you're going to be a dominant wrestler. Look at Giant Gonzalez, for example. Like,
yeah,
he's 7 feet 3 inches or something like that, and can't pull an armbar. Like,
but AEW, this is like comparing the AEW track record. WWE track record for a second here, but AEW hasn't been putting people in the ring who aren't right. I think there's
true
one person I could qualify that to. That'd be Rachel Ellering. Rachel Ellering should be better than what she is, considering how many years in the business she has.
Right, and considering who her trainer was. I mean, you look at the lineage of Lance Storm trainees that have gone on to do wonderful things in the business.
We have some Lance Storm trainees up in our area. We got boys from the Maritimes who went up to Lance Storm to get trained. And, yeah. Greatest professional wrestler in the world, Charlie Hughley. Look him up. I'll give Hughley a shout out right now. The guy's great on the mic. Match number 3, we get Orange Cassidy versus Luther. And this as well was nothing special for me. It was just like, we get the funny stuff with Serpentico trying to sneak up on Orange Cassidy and with Chuck just taking him out. But yeah, no, this is exactly, like, this is a quick little one and done, just finished. Okay. I feel like Miro and Kip should have come out at some point. Or, like, after the match, beat up on them or something. Like, I feel like there's just, like, there's something missing.
I 100% agree. I think that, again, like I'd say for most of the show, inoffensive, solid, but, I mean, it was there.
Yeah. AEW has put itself on a high pedestal.
Yeah.
So, next we get the Taz promo where Sting comes out, and I don't care about the promo, man. Sting took a fucking powerbomb from Brian Cage, and that was not a soft-looking powerbomb. Oh, that was so brutal looking. Like, I don't care about anything else from this segment. That's all that matters. Sting took a powerbomb. It's insane. If Sting is taking powerbombs, then I can only imagine what's going to happen in that match. I can only, like, Sting can go. Let's do this.
Right. That was the thing that really got everyone's interest up in this match that's coming up between Team Taz, Darby, and Sting is the fact that Sting finally took a bump for the first time since I believe 2015.
Yeah.
This is the first bump he's taken, and I honestly, I think it's poetic that it was a power bomb. That was the first thing
Yeah.
that he took, because it was the buckle bomb from Seth Rollins that took him out.
Yeah.
So I think it was very, very what's the word, deliberate that it was a power bomb that Sting took, rather than taking a clothesline or taking the drill claw or something like that.
That and the drill claw would have been a little bit more, in my opinion, than the power bomb. I'm like, ooh, that would have been yeah, I'm actually like reinvigorated for this now. After seeing that, okay, cool, something can actually come out of this. We get an Eddie Kingston promo, basically just saying how he's going to be obsessed with Moxley forever, and I'm kind of okay with that. I would love to see Moxley and Kingston as a tag team one day.
Definitely.
I think that would be really cool.
It's two dudes that love to fight, and that are probably, in my opinion, Kingston and Moxley might be the two best promos, like most realistic promos on the AEW roster. Kingston can make you feel anything that he wants you to feel, and Moxley's just this very down to earth, grounded guy. So it makes a lot of sense to have these two paired for life, really.
Yeah, I agree. Have you ever seen the BTE promo that Eddie Kingston cut? He cut a promo on a cookie.
On a cookie, on a bag of Sour Patch Kids, on a plastic trick-or-treat pumpkin. The man can do no wrong.
But like, this is my wife. My wife is watching with me, and she goes, "Still not as good as cookie promo." Like, every time he does a promo on TV, she's just consistently like, "No, that cookie promo was better." Like, she's just like, "I know he's a great promo, but I want to see him actually do a great promo on Dynamite." That's what she's like about it. Next segment, Kenny Omega in school. At the school, reading the one excerpt out of the Young Bucks book about himself.
Yep.
And then of course, like, Don Callis getting the kids to chant for Kenny, and then the kids just beating up Nakazawa.
Kenny Omega is the best thing on AEW right now. Everything he does is so good. The little skits he's been doing, just everything. Like even like going back to the thing that they released on their socials between him and Kenta a few weeks back, setting up their tag team match. Everything that Kenny Omega does is superb right now.
Yeah, like, yeah, we'll get into after the main event. We'll get into the crazy announcement there, and I'll go on into that. But Kenny Omega can do no wrong at this point. Match 4: Young Bucks versus Proud and Powerful. So, first thing I want to say is during the match, we see Kenny Omega, Don Callis, and the Good Brothers watching the TV the WWE way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this makes so much sense for Kenny right now, because Kenny would be that egotistical at the moment. He'd be like, no, man, I'm what's important right now in your camera shot. I love that. That was funny. MJF eventually, like, gets the entire inner circle kicked out. And the big talking point, really, do you think the Street Sweeper was a botch?
I don't know. Like usually you can tell, but it's I honestly don't know.
My wife is a ref, right? So like when she saw Matt like try to jump over Knox but like land on him and all this stuff, she's just like, oh my god. She's like, I don't even know what to do. She's like, this is a title match. Like, I don't even know what I would do in this situation. Like, her mind would be racing if she was knocked, because she'd be like,
right,
that should be a DQ.
Right.
You didn't break up a pin. You tried to knock out the ref. That should be a DQ. But it's a title match.
Right.
You know, it's a tough position. I don't really see it as a botch per se. I just see it as Proud and Powerful now have something they can be like, give us another match without Rick Knox. He always favors the Young Bucks, you know?
Right.
And I'll be honest, watching Rick Knox matches with my wife is so fun because she just sits there and bitches the whole time. It's so fun.
Well, there's a reason Aubrey Edwards is the senior ref for AEW and not Rick Knox right now.
Actually, Paul Turner's the senior ref.
Is he?
Yeah, it's Paul Turner.
Oh. Then where the hell is he?
I mean, he's usually on TV, but yeah, Aubrey is their main ref, absolutely.
She's the main event ref. I mean, unless the Bucks are in, the Bucks always have Rick Knox, but Aubrey is the go-to ref. So,
well, Paul Turner is that ref that knows everything.
Yeah,
he's the ref that's done every single weird stipulation you can think of. He's got the experience, so you can come up to him and talk to him about anything, and he'll tell you how to ref it, how you should proceed, right? So I think that's why he's probably the. I mean, he played second fiddle to Todd Sinclair over in ROH for how long? So now, trying to name the Bucks when Inner Circle are doing the beatdown thing. Try to help. I don't know if you watched BTE, but do you know what the excuse that the Good Brothers gave for why they...
I have not watched this week's BTE yet.
Okay, rub one out, or he can go out on... But as the Young Bucks, what would you say? Would you just look at them and go, fuck? And not know, like, you didn't know what else to say. You wouldn't keep pushing at that point. You just let it be.
You can't say anything to that. It's like, all right, I guess.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, congrats to Brandy and Cody.
Yeah, they're having a girl. You know, like, I don't know what it is about the wrestling world right now, but everybody's pregnant.
And everyone's having girls.
Yes, everybody's having girls. Next match is FTR versus the Seidel's. And I'm just going to say I did not even know that there was a Mike Seidel. I'm sorry, I didn't know this existed. But this is a classic high flyer versus match. I really enjoyed it overall. Had a lot of fun with it. Mike does get pinned by FTR. FTR tries to cut Seidel's hair. Mike shows up. And we just so sorry about all these people. Background noise.
Yeah.
The best recording best recording options yet, but hopefully this stuff we can work on in time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But what do you think of the match overall?
I thought it was good. Again, it was one of those. It was inoffensive. It showed off very well what Matt Seidel and Mike Seidel can do. But it was one of those AEW matches where you knew what was going to happen going into it. With FTR picking up the win. FTR, definitely a very solid tag team. I was intrigued after the match when it was announced that we are getting FTR and Tully Blanchard against all three members of Jurassic Express. Tully Blanchard returning to the ring for the first time since I think 2002 or something like that.
Very long time, 20 years, almost 20 years.
It's very interesting. Jurassic Express coming out after the match, it was expected, especially when FTR went to go do the beatdown and cut Matt Seidel's hair. It was only natural that Jurassic Express was going to come out. So everything was telegraphed, but I mean, it wasn't done sloppily. It wasn't done poorly. Again, inoffensive.
Yeah. I do say I hope Marco gets a spot where he takes out Dax and Cash in that match.
Yes.
Because I'm worried, like, what happened when they did the whole Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, Natalia versus Los Matadores and El Torito. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
so because Marco Stunt's as small as he is, and he's not a very, because he's a small person, it's cool, he can go up against an old man. That's equivalent. And I'm like, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because Marco Stunt is, in my opinion, very good. Like, of course, his size is his ultimate thing, and it's why he's probably never going to be really winning titles and stuff. But that doesn't mean he has to be relegated to a role that is purely for joke purposes.
Right. Well, we saw a few weeks back Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt against FTR, and Dax and Cash were selling for Marco. Marco got a few good moves in, stuff like that. So I mean, it's one of those things. They're not booking Marco as if he's a comedy. Well, I mean, he is a comedy wrestler, but they're not booking him like a joke. Is what I'm trying to say. He is taken seriously as a member of the AEW roster.
Yeah, I know some people really don't like him just because of his size. I don't care about that. I'm like, anybody can wrestle. Anybody can wrestle. As long as the story being told in the ring is believable, that's all that matters.
Definitely.
Main event, Eddie Kingston, Butcher and Blade versus Jon Moxley, Lance Archer, and Rey Fenix. I still don't understand why those three are a team. I don't really care at the moment. Phoenix is the one that stands out to me. Mox and Archer, I can just kind of see them as a team. Kind of just think it works, whatever. They haven't given a reason for it yet, but it still works.
Well, given that Phoenix has problems with Kingston and the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, given that there's a history there, it makes sense because the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation that happens in wrestling. But I mean, it's a slapdash group of guys, but they're all very talented and they're all very entertaining to watch. So I'm in for it.
Yeah. The end does come when Mox he just takes the spinning elbow from Kingston, and then he turns into a paradigm shift. Takes it, hits a paradigm shift for the win. But what matters is, of course, the ending. You got the Good Brothers coming out, Kenny Omega coming out, challenges Moxley to an exploding barbed wire death match. And I have zero knowledge or experience with these. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I will say, if there's somebody that's going to make me like it, it'll probably be Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley.
Oh, definitely. I've seen a few watching some old FMW tapes and like old Mick Foley stuff and stuff like that from the early 90s. They are very violent. They are very entertaining. It's one of those things, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I guarantee you, I know one person that is definitely going to love it and one person that is definitely going to hate it. I am going to love it. Jim Cornette is going to hate it.
I gave my opinion. Okay, yeah, we're recording this while, just so our watchers know, we're recording this while the Impact episode was already going up. Once we're done with this, man, go listen to the beginning of the Impact episode. I give my opinions on Jim Cornette. I think Jay and Jordan were left completely flabbergasted by this and could not believe that the things I was saying. So have fun with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, NXT was great this week. AEW's more of a filler episode, like we said. Overall, both were enjoyable.
Right. I think NXT had more going for it coming out of the pay-per-view, so it had more to bite into. AEW was more to advance the storylines going forward to both March 3rd and the pay-per-view on March 7th. So I think that's why we got a little bit more filler. We got more storylines and backstage than we did with NXT.
Next week's AEW is probably going to be a big episode, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah,
they do good go homes usually. So Should be fun. So we're going to leave it here for today. We'll be back together next week for next week's recap. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below about your favorite part of AEW or NXT. Or whether you disagree with us on some stuff, or any comments is nice. Thank you very much, and have a good one.